Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Review. Well, here's some great news, and the timing I don't think could be more important. See, heading into 2020 with an expected 2020 tidal wave of potential higher tax outcome, depending on the unknown of next year's election, as well as what the market's mayhem typically represents as it relates to a very contentious election year with a push for impeachment about or something to try to trip Trump from being reelected on at every potential turn. I think it's going to, as we look at what we're seeing, it's going to cause a lot of people to exit the stock market, which is going to make it more difficult for money managers and Wall Street companies to continue to be as profitable. And you have a lot of people that can't believe the amount of money that's already exited Wall Street. In fact, there's been more money that's exited Wall Street just in these last few weeks than in the last 6 years, as far as it relates to that percentage. And then you've got people like, I think about the client I talked to out of Phoenix, Arizona area just this week, who's got a couple $1 million trapped in IRA. She's in her late 70s. She's a widow, and she's trying to help some of her kids with her grandkids' college expense and graduate school expense. And her requirement of distribution, right at about $100,000, is taxing her to the max, taxing 85% of her Social Security, triggering a higher Medicare Part B and D premium. And she asked a very simple question: are there legal things that you can do to get money untaxed and keeping it untaxed? Folks, there are. And I'll be teaching this coming Tuesday what many clients avoid, what I call the required minimum distribution. So whether you're trying to get to retirement or a better passage through retirement, and maybe you're not someone that's been staring down required minimum distributions, or maybe you're someone that's really feeling the punishment of required minimum distributions. RMD, as I'm writing about in my new book that'll be coming out shortly, I believe, and what I've seen it doing to boomers and business owners, is what I call retirement mass destruction. Because it's absolutely just killing people, costing them an average of an extra $2,000 a month of unnecessary taxation. Well, folks, there's great things in the tax code, but they're only for as long as we have Trump. And there's things that can be enacted upon that not only get your money untaxed to take advantage of the timing and the shifting while we still have Trump, but also to keep it untaxed, but to protect it. Market correction protection with the ability to avoid the tidal wave of unknown taxation. And if there's going to be taxation, and it's going to be a tidal wave if another Democratic candidate or any of the Democratic candidates get in, the time to prevent tax and to prevent a correction to give yourself the proper market protection is now. I'll be teaching this Tuesday. Simply go ahead and register now. You can register online. It's a complimentary log on and learn webinar. Simply go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And know this, it's just one strategy I'll be teaching. Sometimes referred to as a rich man's Roth, but it allows your money to grow without tax. That's important because you've got Democratic senators that are calling for a growth tax if a Democratic candidate wins office. You've got there's no tax when you distribute it. You're not forced to take a required minimum distribution, and you're not worried about leaving an inherited required minimum distribution tax to your kids or your grandkids or your great grandkids. And here's the good news: with upside of when the market gains, without any downside exposure when the market does its thing all over the place. Folks, you worked hard for your money. Let me leave you with this one single thought. If there were a time that you could look back in history to know that that would have been the single greatest time to address how to get yourself untaxed and to keep yourself tax-free, as well as the market doing a major dump that you could have prevented, what would you do about it? Because we're hearing that this time of the year is the ideal time to really get focused on money and get a jump start to your tax planning and your retirement protection planning in 2020. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.